It is time for another mental health roll call. Anyone else just holding it together with twist ties and sarcasm? Personally, I'm somewhere in between hanging in there and planning my exit with nothing but my husband, Posey, an old flip phone, and a solar powered coffee maker. If you saw my I don't know how to be a person anymore video, you know that I've been 2 clicks away from buying a goat and naming her Boundary. Now, this is not a political post because we don't do that here, but we are going to talk about this psychological vertigo that seems to be going viral. There's this vibe, right? This phrase that keeps popping up like a software update that you don't want to install, but you can't seem to hit remind me later. The storm is coming. Now, at first, I thought it was just a dramatic TikTok trend like decluttering or those really disconcerting ASMR videos. But it's everywhere. Prepper YouTube, astrology reels, Reddit threads, ex-military guys, soft-spoken women with dead eyes and cozy sweaters holding mugs they clearly have never drank from. All of them are saying the same thing, like they're reading off the same script. Something big is coming, get ready. And look, normally I would scroll right past that kind of thing, not because I don't care, but because I care too much, too quickly, and then I spiral like some middle-aged hottie who only wears black and white and has a YouTube channel with really funny merch. So, for the sake of my own nervous system, I stay out of it. Not forever, just long enough to function, to finish a task, to remember which bills are on autopay and which ones are still judging me. I'm not built for it. The moment I let in too much, I either spiral into productivity or into bunker planning, and neither one is cute. Right now, it feels like the world has joined the same Facebook group called Impending Doom. And I didn't want to join, but I also didn't want to be the only one who missed the memo about stocking up on iodine and finally finding out how many rolls of toilet paper are really enough. So I looked. Not deep, not dark, just enough to figure out what the hell they were all talking about. Because if the storm really is coming, I'd like to know if I'm supposed to bring snacks, learn Morse code, or emotionally start detaching from indoor plumbing. And listen, this is my perspective. I'm not telling you how to feel or what to do, but I want to help you feel not so alone. There's no one right way to care, to cope, or to make it to next week with your dignity and sanity intact. Because if this storm really is coming, there's one thing that we're all doing that might actually be making it worse, and we may not even realize it yet. So yeah, I peeked. I did. Just to see. I wasn't planning on joining the Prepper Olympics. I just want to know if the world was actually unraveling or if it was my nervous system just overachieving again. I just wanted a basic sense check, a little tap on the old barometer of reality to see if things were actually spiraling. I wanted to understand what everyone was reacting to. And what I found is like when you open up your bank app and you think, well, maybe it's not that bad. And then you immediately regret having that hope. Yeah. Lately, my phone has been like sighing at me. Seriously. I think it's called vibrate, but it feels a lot like a deep sigh of disappointment. So I poked around. A few headlines, a couple of non-hysterical articles. I skipped anything that had a siren emoji or opened with the words, brace yourself. I was trying to find actual journalism. I just wanted to know if the collective anxiety had a source or if we were just all catching vibes off each other like emotional static at a mid-school sleepover and someone just whipped out the Ouija board. And here's what I found. It's not nothing. There's real movement, real tension, real escalation. The kind that even Google is like, girl, I don't know. Yeah, Trump bombed Iran. Actual airstrikes, not a drill, not a bluff. Missiles. There are missiles flying between Israel and Iran. The U.S. military is repositioning. Gas prices are twitchy. Global markets are jumpy. The G7 summit just had a full-blown anxiety huddle. On top of that, Los Angeles is basically in a state of unrest because ICE raids turned into full-on protests that turned into National Guard deployments. And Wall Street is out here pretending that the economy is totally fine while quietly Googling, how much collapse is too much collapse? Honestly, at this point, the Dow should just come with the Xanax sponsorship. Yep, just a casual Tuesday in the good old US of A, where the only thing more unstable than the markets is my sleep schedule. So yeah, there's a storm. Multiple, actually. And the people who usually calm things down, they're the ones that are sounding spooked. They're not panicked, just strained, like they're trying to prevent something they've already seen go sideways. And the more I read, the heavier it got. Not because it was one big crisis, because it was everything at once. Geopolitics, economics, climate, AI, elections, all of it layered on top of each other like a bad group project where no one's done their part, and the deadline is tomorrow, and Chad still thinks he's in charge. That's when I felt it. That drop in my chest. Not fear exactly, not adrenaline, just that familiar tilt of the floor that happens when you realize that the grown-ups in charge are just as confused as you are. And if they're worried, you start wondering if you should be too. What came next in my world wasn't logic by any stretch. It was instinct. And it was a little weird. So after my little doom scroll detour, I'm standing by the front door like the anxious little raccoon that I am. And the second that Doug walks in, I blurt out, "We need more ammo." I don't believe that we're on the brink of another Red Dawn reboot, but the panic had already made itself comfortable in my nervous system. And once it's in, it gets loud. So yeah, I just wanted to feel prepared. Like if society actually collapsed, I'd at least have the right energy. I'd look like I had the right vibe, you know? Suddenly, I'm counting canned goods like I'm prepping to outlive a nuclear winter on expired chickpeas and blind optimism. I'm checking flashlights. I'm counting batteries. I'm wondering if I should be stockpiling pet food or start teaching Posy here how to forage like her ancestors and not be a little suburban freeloader with seasonal allergies. I haven't even bought a new bra since 2020, but somehow I convinced myself that I needed a LifeStraw water filtration system and a ham radio by the morning. I don't live in the woods. I'm not off-grid. I'm in the suburbs. I have HOA fees and a stroller for my dog who refuses to walk. I'm not built for bunker life. I panic when the Wi-Fi goes out. My idea of roughing it is 4G. But sure, Miss Cozy Chaos Connie TikTok with the mug she never drinks from, tell me again how to escape through the sewer grid. I swear, half my one-on-ones lately are just me talking people down from Amazon carts full of freeze-dried beef and tactical flashlights that double as nunchucks. Sign up if you want to chat. My neighbors are still out here walking their doodles like the world is fine, and I'm over here trying to remember if cotton balls dipped in Vaseline really do make good fire starters or if that's just another Pinterest lie. Because once the spiral starts, logic just completely leaves the room, and all I'm doing is performing my own panic. Full interpretive dance with jazz hands and all. Because this is the system. This is the cycle. You get scared, so you stockpile. You feel helpless, so you overcorrect. You sense chaos, and suddenly you're on Amazon at midnight buying tactical gloves and a go bag that will fit on a pug. That's not clarity. That is fear pretending to be productivity. Now, I'm not saying don't be prepared. I'm saying what I did wasn't preparedness. It was panic packaged as empowerment, all sold to me by an algorithm that profits off my anxiety. Now, my little spiral didn't end with panic. It ended with something that I couldn't ignore, and I'm really hoping that someone out there can relate. The next morning, I woke up with a prepper hangover. It was like someone had broken into my brain overnight and reorganized it by fear level. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was curating an emergency. I was triaging imaginary disasters in my head like I was going to have to brief FEMA by noon. And that's when it hit me. The threat might be real, but the spiral is totally optional. My nervous system is not built for sustained catastrophe consumption. This is why I don't watch the news regularly, because every headline goes through my body. Every crisis gets metabolized, and I can't afford a breakdown over disasters that I didn't cause, led by groups of people that I wouldn't trust to find their own ass with 2 hands, a flashlight, and a frickin' tutorial. Be honest. What's the weirdest thing that panic has convinced you to do in the name of being prepared? Let me know in the comments. Let's get weird together. It's not ignorance, people. It's emotional triage. I can't continue to overdose on worst case scenarios. There are protests that are happening right here in Denver right now. People are out there. They're showing up, and I respect the hell out of that. I just know that my lane is more emotional support water bottle than frontline hero. You know, just like some people can be surgeons or EMT people because they can handle the blood, I know what I'm built for. That's my self-awareness. My version of humaning needs boundaries that protect me. And yes, sometimes even from reality. Sometimes even from my own curiosity. I don't think that makes me weak or stupid or in denial. I truly believe that you can care deeply and still choose to protect your mental state like it's the last unlooted shelf in the grocery store. Even if that shelf is full of expired stewed tomatoes and one sad bag of pinto beans. It's mine. Here's the truth. The world is always on fire somewhere. Panic doesn't make you responsible. It just makes you easier to scare. And there are entire systems built to benefit from that. Congratulations, my friend. You have unlocked level 3 of your anxiety. Please enter your credit card information to upgrade to premium panic for just $19.99 a month. I will not be overwhelmed, overinformed, and broke and on fire all at the same time. I'm just not. We treat awareness like it's some kind of moral obligation, like if you're not plugged in, tuned in, emotionally waterboarded, and wrung dry, you're being completely irresponsible. But at some point, you have to ask, Who benefits when I panic? Who wins when I can't sleep, can't focus, can't breathe, or can't function without checking the weather report for democracy? Because what started as a scan for information turned into a full-blown audition for role of civilian who saw it coming. Like I thought that being scared early would earn me extra credit for the apocalypse quiz. But fear doesn't make you safer now, does it? It just makes you easier to manage. It makes me sick. And once I remembered that, I could feel the spiral start to loosen, right? I took a step back from that drip feed of dread and I turned down the volume again. And once again, I stopped letting the fear choose what I carry. This wasn't about prepping or worrying or choosing the world is ending outfit. It was about deciding what kind of human I still wanted to be. So here's where I landed. I can't control the global weather. I can't fix a war. I can't stabilize the markets. I can't unburn the forest or unrig the systems or outrun whatever version of collapse that we're all stuck beta testing. But I can decide what gets inside my head. I can stop letting everyone else's storm set the forecast for my day. I just want to be a functioning human in a world that keeps screaming at me that the sky is always falling. I swear it's like Chicken Little out here with a megaphone and a Twitter account. Because the truth is, something probably is coming. Something always is. That's not new. But panic is not a good prep strategy, and I have got to stop rehearsing fear for a future that hasn't happened yet. I'm already an expert at that particular skill. I'm not going to spend my days scanning headlines like they're tarot cards, trying to divine the exact hour that everything's going to fall apart. This isn't about ignoring the world. It's about refusing to hand over my sanity to it. It's personal damage control. And I know someone's going to hear this and they're going to say, oh, but what if something really does happen, Sheila? And to that I say, yeah, something probably will. And honestly, it already has, over and over again. In the last 5 years alone, we have lived through a global pandemic, an actual insurrection, murder hornets, supply chain breakdowns, extreme weather, school lockdowns, and toilet paper rationing. We watched digital chaos unfold. We've seen racial reckonings, mass layoffs, climate collapse, inflation spikes, power grid failures, and whatever that chicken shortage thing was. Oh, and bird flu came back. Do you remember that? Plus random RSV surges, mystery hepatitis in kids, and monkeypox. Because of course it did. We watched Roe v. Wade get overturned, mass shootings become so normal we barely blink at them anymore. Immigration raids and border cruelty have quietly ramped back up. Anti-LGBTQ laws surged, the healthcare system cracked, the loneliness epidemic got so bad it needed a Surgeon General warning, and suicide rates have climbed to historic highs. Meanwhile, AI went from help me write a haiku to deepfake my ex into porn, and now no one's totally sure what's real anymore. Russia invaded Ukraine, Israel and Gaza erupted again, Afghanistan collapsed, Myanmar staged a military coup. Entire regions flooded, burned, or vanished from the news cycle because the next crisis already needed your attention. Wars escalated, democracies cracked, whole populations were displaced while billionaires played space tag. We have watched progress run backward at full speed, and you know what? All that fear, all that bracing, all that prepping, all that spiraling, it didn't stop a single thing, and we handled it anyway. We always do. That's the part that we forget about, is how we show up, how we hold each other up, even when everything else is falling down. So no, I didn't pack a go bag, but I did refill my meds and I checked Posey's dog food supply. Most importantly, I made sure that we had a lot of coffee. Because here's the thing, staying calm isn't a failure to engage. It's a refusal to self-destruct on cue. So yeah, I'm watching the sky, but I'm not lighting myself on fire just to prove I notice the clouds. I'm not ignoring the storm. I'm just not living inside of it. We're all just trying to live inside of a world that keeps demanding that we react to everything all at once. And I can't live like that. I've tried. So this is me trying to live in this moment, even while the storm's brewing, even while the feed keeps screaming, because maybe the storm passes and maybe it doesn't. But either way, I still have to get up tomorrow and I still have to be a person in the middle of all of it. And I've decided if the storm comes, I'll meet it, but I'm not going to spend my life rehearsing for rain. Because the last time I checked, the forecast wasn't the boss of me. This isn't the first time that I've spiraled, and I'm sure that it won't be the last. It's not even the worst, honestly. You ever look around and realize that I'm showing up, I'm doing the things, but I have no idea how to be a person in this? Well, that's where I was. Just standing over my sink eating tacos and tears. Do you want to see how I got through that one? Come over here and watch it with me.